I need you to put this on.
Ekko hands her a cloak. JINX frowns at the forest green color. Why?
I'm taking you somewhere.
Straightening her back, JINX stretches her lips as wide as she can to give him her biggest smile. Ekko looks at her like she's deranged, which she is, before adding,
I need you to keep your eyes closed and only open them when I tell you to. I need you to promise.
She scoffs.
Promise me.
Crossing her fingers behind her back, she says, I promise, I promise.
JINX, I'm serious.
And I told you, I promise.
Good. Because the other option would be to knock you out and carry you there.
I'd like to see you try. He gives her a dry look that says,
We both know I could do it.
Ekko waits for her to put on the cloak. Then she has to close her eyes and put her hand over them for good measure. Once she's done, they start their journey. And if JINX peeks through her fingers the whole time, well, Ekko doesn't need to know about it. He leads her through pathways she's never been to, secret pathways she never knew existed. JINX tries her best to memorize the path. Here they turned left, here they entered the abandoned sewer, here she had to duck to avoid hitting her head against a huge metal pipe. The deeper they go, the more firelights there are.
Are your eyes still closed?
Yup. He guides her, his hand on her wrist, pulling her along. JINX stares at his arm longer than would ever be necessary. She tries her hardest to pretend she doesn't see anything, faking little squeaks and tripping over her own feet.
Don't be so dramatic.
Ekko says when she gasps after stubbing her toes on a small rock.
We're almost there.
Oh, come on. It's not my fault you put me in danger like this, forcing me to be blind. To her surprise, Ekko chuckles. JINX almost trips on nothing for real this time. She has not heard him laugh in such a long time. It feels impossible that she could ever be the cause of his amusement in a positive way.
You're a lot clumsier than I thought.
She swears. Ekko pulls her a little closer.
It's like you're doing it on purpose. Are you sure your eyes are closed?
JINX swallows. Suddenly, it doesn't feel like she's just messing around anymore. She opts to say nothing, that way she doesn't have to lie. Staring at the back of his head, JINX thinks about the little boy he used to be, following people around, always sticking his nose into things that really didn't concern him. He has changed, but maybe not as much as she thought he had. Besides, there is no doubt which one of them has changed more. Maybe they are even. JINX closes her eyes and doesn't open them for the rest of the walk. When Ekko finally tells her that they've arrived at their destination and that she's allowed to remove the hand from over her eyes, JINX has to squint against the sunlight that immediately hits her. It would be an understatement to say that she has a hard time believing what she sees. Small houses, decorated with graffiti, kids swooping around with their hoverboards, more firelight bugs than she's ever seen in her life. Her mouth falls slightly open as she gawks at the enormous tree situated at the center of everything. This is the secret hideout of the firelights, Ekko's home. JINX has heard of the magical tree hideout, but she never thought anything in the undercity could actually thrive like this. The firelights have hidden this place well. The sunlight and the huge tree beckon her to take a step forward out of the shadows, but Ekko stops her. He hurries to adjust her cloak and pulls the hood over her head, then takes off his gloves to make sure her blue braids are as invisible as possible. JINX stares, not bothering to hide how much she likes the sight of his hands. Just the lightest brush of his fingers against her sensitive ears, and she wonders how good it would feel to have his fingertips crawling inside her chest. How terrifying it would be to let him accept the parts of her that will never heal.
Hide your face. If anyone recognizes you, we'll both be in trouble.
It is tempting to disobey, but more than anything, JINX wants to be worthy of Ekko's trust. She studies him while he's fussing over her hair and realizes that she has never looked at him and seen the type of evil she's used to seeing on others' faces when things get heated inside her head. When it comes to Ekko, she has never seen any twisted mouths or devil horns, has never heard mean giggles or mocking words whispered in her ear. For years, JINX refused his help, killed his teammates, people he calls his family now instead of her. She has seen hatred and disgust in his eyes, but Ekko's facial features have never been foggy. Despite all that, looking at him makes her heart ache. Makes her feel like she's losing her mind even more than she already has. Ekko must know that bringing her here was a huge risk, a stupid one to boot. It makes no sense. It's not like he doesn't know she might not be of sound mind. Why did you bring me here? Ekko's smile is warm, but he's too sheepish to meet her eyes.
Well, I bring all the people who are important to me here.
JINX blinks. She doesn't know what she's feeling. Studying her reaction, Ekko's shy smile turns into a smug one. Instead of carefully examining her feelings, JINX turns her gaze to the green tree, the laughing children, the peace protecting the whole place. There's nothing she can do but admire everything Ekko has managed to build despite his young age. Everything JINX has ever created was so that she could destroy something else. The people here are safe, and she knows what happens when a JINX is allowed in. You shouldn't have brought me here. She didn't mean it to sound like an ominous threat, but the way Ekko freezes, his whole body tensing, tells her that's how he interpreted it. He rushes to check her hands for bombs. She doesn't have any with her this time. There's a gun in her bag though, and Ekko confiscates it.
You'll get this back when we leave.
Hurt slashes across her chest, instantly. Ekko doesn't trust her. This would be the perfect opportunity for Milo to say something. She expects to hear something nasty, but it seems like the ghosts in her mind understand why her old friend would be more than cautious around her. The quietness in her head has been a trend lately. JINX inhales. Ekko is just making sure his home stays safe. She gets it. It's all right. Everything is fine between them.
Hey, Ekko!
They both jump, and Ekko quickly pushes her further back into the shadows before waving back at the young man who just greeted him.
Stay here. I'll be back in a minute.
And then she's left there, alone in the shadows where she belongs. JINX watches Ekko as he interacts with the other man around their age. They do a special handshake. Ekko lets out a laugh. The other man rests his hand on Ekko's shoulder. Ekko is not like that with her. JINX hates it. She hates it. Hates it. Hates it. A twinge of something rotten strikes her. It hurts to realize she's not special. And this, her fear of being replaced by another person, and not being the number one in her loved ones' hearts, is something the dormant ghosts live off. There's a silent voice tickling the back of her mind, itching like a bug, a shadow of a human-like creature behind her vision. She's not sure who it is. It doesn't speak, but she knows what it would say if it did.
This is a trap. Ekko's going to tell everyone you're here and then imprison you.
JINX shakes her head, trying to get rid of the thoughts.
The firelights will sell you to the enforcers.
She squeezes her eyes shut, the muscles in her face twitching.
They want to kill you. Ekko wants you dead.
Shut up! He doesn't want that. Not anymore. The voices have been so quiet lately that the thoughts scare her to death. She'd give anything not to have them return. And for the past couple of weeks, she's been thinking that Ekko might be the cure, but her mind darkens. Abandonment issues. Blinding jealousy. Prone to mental breakdowns. That is how Savika has diagnosed her to Silco over the years. The people around Silco are all insane in their own ways. Just because she's the craziest one doesn't mean that old hag has the right to judge her. But JINX knows Savika's not wrong.
He's lying to you. See? He doesn't want to be seen with you. You embarrass him.
No, it's all right. Ekko brought me here because he trusts me. He doesn't want to hurt me. JINX admires Ekko's warm smile from afar, knowing she'll never be able to make him smile at her like that. As she watches another firelight join the chirpy conversation with Ekko and his friend, it's getting harder and harder for her to believe that this will end well. She feels out of place here. These people are free, in a way that she will never be. She's like Shimmer, infiltrating and invading spaces that should be left alone. JINX considers leaving, but before she can flee, Ekko returns.
Ready for the tour? You okay?
He tugs at her wrist like he used to do when they were children, always making sure she felt included when Vi and the boys were out doing things without her. Ekko then takes her hand and JINX lets him. Their fingers intertwine and she squeezes his hand with the kind of desperation that must make him pity her. But Ekko only flashes her a smile, and that's when JINX knows there's something very wrong with her. His thumb caresses her knuckles absent-mindedly, and it hits her that she's falling for him. Maybe Ekko has had it wrong this whole time. Maybe she is the firelight, attracted to his glow. The realization tastes bittersweet.
Come on, I want to show you my house.
Ekko is excited that I'm here. She tries to tell herself. He leads the way, and she almost feels like a little girl again. The feeling is so awful, she considers never talking to Ekko again. JINX follows after him until Ekko stops so suddenly that she bumps into his back. He whirls around, all sparkly eyes and excited smiles.
Wait, Powder, you need to see my workshop first.
JINX freezes instantly. Still holding her hand, Ekko does a 180 and starts pulling her along again. Her legs feel like they're drenched in lead. As he starts telling her about some new invention he's been thinking about, it's painfully clear Ekko doesn't even realize what he just said. Ekko doesn't see her. She's dragging Powder's remains behind her, and that is all that matters to him. JINX can't believe she's still surprised by how easily everything around her can be destroyed, as if there aren't enough cracks in her soul already. Milo's ghost doesn't appear, but the dread in the pit of her stomach feels just as bad. She can't focus. On their way to the workshop, they pass a huge wall painting located at the base of the tree, with candles along the bottom of it. Her eyes widen when she realizes what the wall painting is. A memorial. And they are painted in great detail. She sees herself, sees Powder, dead, like she should be. Something claws at her throat. Ekko painted her on the wall, fully aware that she was still out there. All this time he has been trying to hold on to the dead memory of someone he knew was still very much alive. Suddenly she remembers being 11, remembers Silco's office, and Ekko's frantic pleas after he sneaked in, remembers rejecting his offer to leave with him.
It's JINX now. Powder is dead. I don't need you to save me.
It's no wonder he painted her amongst the dead. JINX tries to swallow down the anger and the disappointment. She needs to go to Piltover and blow up a building or two, or else she's going to lose it. The rest of the trip is spent in a fuzzy state. In the end, Ekko doesn't betray her, and she gets to leave the secret garden of the firelights without a bloodbath. She had the privilege to learn about Ekko's work, see his home. He kept his word and gave her gun back. Still, she feels like she's been betrayed.